Hi, I'm Scott Stoffel. I'm deputy editor of The Atlantic, and I'm here with Jeffrey Goldberg, national correspondent. And we're here to talk about the cover story of the December issue, which he is co-author of with Mark Ambinder. You begin the piece talking about what happened after the raid on Abbottabad.
Well, after Abbottabad, what happened was, after the Osama bin Laden raid, the Pakistanis realized, hey, the Americans can invade our country, small invasion, force but still an invasion, do what they need to do, in this case it was kill Osama bin Laden, and then leave without us even knowing. The Pakistanis are extremely worried that America has designs on their nuclear weapons, so they want to steal them. It's an interesting situation you have because the Pakistanis are paranoid about American intentions, but it is true that if America could find a cost-free way of denuclearizing Pakistan, they might actually go ahead and try to denuclearize Pakistan. Pakistan's job in its own mind is to make it as difficult as possible for the Americans to do such a thing.
You talk about how after Abbottabad they increased the rate of the tempo of dispersal. They're always moving the nukes around. We never know exactly where they are, although there's some intelligence. They increased it, and the means by which they carried them around is fairly alarming, given that there's a heavy concentration of terrorists and jihadists.
Well, this is I mean, when Pakistan's nukes are on bases, Air Force bases, or in nuclear facilities, they're fairly safe. Some of these facilities have been attacked by jihadists, but they're fairly safe. But just like America during the Cold War, especially, they believe that security comes from playing a kind of shell game, where you move missiles, you move warheads, you move fissile material, and keep it moving so that no one knows precisely where everything is. They move some of the stuff by helicopter, but some of the stuff they move by truck and van and all kinds of other vehicles. And their decision has been that they're not going to do this with a high profile and armored convoys and high visible security. They're doing it incognito. And so you have a situation in which on Pakistan's roads, which are pretty dangerous roads, you have disguised vans and trucks that are seemingly unprotected and possibly really unprotected, moving around and moving nuclear material back and forth. It is kind of an invitation to a jihadist group to say, you know what, we can probably get a few pounds of fissile material with which we can make a dirty bomb if we just figure out the timing of these transports. And since we know that much of the army is penetrated by people with Taliban sympathies, with al-Qaeda sympathies, you know, there's cause for worry. There's some real cause for worry.
What are the contingency plans that the U.S. has in place for the event of an individual missile goes missing because it's being transported along roads and it suddenly disappears, or in the worst case scenario, Pakistan, not a terribly functional or stable country at this point, has some kind of coup or cataclysmic meltdown?
Well, there's different scenarios for different problems. If a single nuke goes missing, say, the U.S. will try to help locate it. If you're talking about something like Pakistani state disintegration, where the U.S. and presumably other countries, including China and India, feel that the Pakistani military is not in 100% control of its nuclear weapons, then you've entered a whole other universe of problems.
The title of the piece is The Ally from Hell. In what respect are they actually our allies?
I mean, the United States doesn't have any other relationship like this relationship. We are allies with Pakistan on some crucial issues. Pakistan and the U.S. share a joint loathing of al-Qaeda. And so, on many occasions, Pakistan is willing to help the U.S. capture or kill al-Qaeda figures who are living in Pakistan. But there's an interesting quote in the article from the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, who says that the problem with, and I'm paraphrasing, but the problem with Pakistan is that they differentiate between good terrorists and bad terrorists. Pakistan is extremely worried that India, and India is they're still the focus of Pakistani anxiety. They worry that India is trying to colonize essentially Afghanistan. If you look at a map, that means Pakistan would be surrounded, encircled. And so there are groups that they use to advance Pakistani interests. Often advancing those interests mean advancing them against American interests, including American troops. So you do have a situation in which we supply funds to an army that supplies funds to terror groups that kill American troops. So that's why this is such a cursed kind of relationship.